Hello, hello, hello. After three 12 UDC matches simultaneously, we took a little break and now we're back into action. The one we have on our hands now is Ukraine versus Indonesia, the second match of quarterfinals losers bracket, so this is an elimination match. Seed 16 versus Seed 10. Ukraine just yesterday managed to take down a Seed 11 team, Taiwan. Wait, no, not Taiwan. My apologies, Thailand. Let's see if they will be able to do the same thing with team that seated quite higher than that. And well, we hope for the best because the previous match today were already very hype. My name is Philoxen and I'm also joined by 4WC2026.
Hello. I'm quite excited for this match, man. Like, this I feel like could be quite a fun one to see because, you look at all the OWCs, at least from, my opinion, these aren't teams you usually see all the time. I mean, you'll see Indo here and there, but, they're not those star teams you usually think of. But over here, I feel like they have more than enough possibility for it and they can really start to show off. And I'm really excited for that, especially with a map pool like this. I feel like this can be an absolute banger match to watch between these two teams.
Yeah, we have just so many great players on both sides. I mean, Indonesia having skydivers is pretty funny. Didn't expect that to be a case for 4WC, but it is. In any case, the carry players of both Team Ukraine and Indonesia are very strong. You have Roman inside of Ukraine as well as Evil Balner on Indonesia. You also have, for example, Fuma. You also have Major McQueen. Those are, the core players of that. And you also do have some prodigies, for example, on both sides. For example, there is Bra on Ukraine that just teared the Hard 3 apart yesterday, which was on the harder maps in the pool, as well as a couple more. So both countries have rising stars as well as really experienced players, and that's what's gonna make this match really interesting in my opinion. And of course, it's also the stake of being eliminated from the tournament, despite both teams being quite strong. So, well, they better be showing their absolute best. As right now, we are waiting for the strategies to actually come into play.
Yeah, I mean, I am intrigued to see what orders they feel like doing here. And, those rolls are a bit diabolical. Rolling a 4 and then a 36. Unfortunate for Evil Walner, but yeah. Okay, yeah. It seems that Indonesia are going to go for the second ban and the first pick, and Ukraine are going to go for that first ban. I'm wondering what they want to go for first. Okay, I didn't even have to ask. They go straight for that DP3. No hesitation. They do not even want to play it.
Yeah, it seems like they are repeating the same thing that Austria did against Indonesia yesterday. Austria also banned out the tapping heavy maps. In fact, this is 230 BPM speed, stamina, something that Ukraine does not want to go into, and that's for a reason. Indonesia actually almost managed to go up to tiebreaker against South Korea earlier in the last weekend just because of winning those crazy tapping maps. So their tapping is not to be questioned right here. And Ukraine, as a team that doesn't usually go for tapping maps, they are mostly picking, that control / consistency gimmick sometimes, but that's about it. Not willing to take their chances with the tapping mechanics team like Indonesia. So the DD3 is now out of the question, and there is a response from Indonesia.
Yeah, and then Fremont 3 as well, just immediately getting taken out.
Yep.
Pretty quick ban phase, I will not lie. And also, I don't blame them. Getting rid of these kind of apps, understandable. Sad to see a Hard Rock 2 going. I do like a Hard Rock 2 here and there. And, I mean, getting rid of Breakcore, yeah, it does upset me. But, I get it. I do get it.
Yeah, Ukraine actually managed to close off the match against Thailand on that HD3 last time, and had a really decent score of 1.6 million. And yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, but HD3 is the hardest map in the pool, so it would definitely work out against Indonesia as, that skill cap pick. Sad to see the original being gone here, as well as HR2, but that makes sense. Ukraine, anytime they go for hard rocks, especially on those free mods, we did see their free mod 2 performance yesterday with, I believe, Chrono4G and Bra showing really good scores with hard rocks, so their precision is not to be questioned as well. And so far, everything makes sense here. I believe the first pick is for Indonesia, and last time Austria banned DD3 and DD2 against them. This time Ukraine banned DD3 and 3mod3, so DD2 is left open, and yep, that is straight something that Indonesia is going for.
Yeah, they didn't even hesitate on this. Well, I mean, they give them seconds to decide, but, you know, they were not going to think twice on it. They know their skill set, they know what they can do, and they instantly opted with DT2. This map, I mean, it goes up to, well, with DT, about 262 BPM, 263. And overall, there's nothing, like, insanely crazy. It is just going to be a small few jumps there and there, like, that aren't crazy space, but it's going to be focusing, again, on a lot of that burst tapping accuracy. And overall, just a bit of that consistency for, what, 3 minutes 20?
Yeah, it is quite a long one. I mean, after double time, it's 3 minutes of just pure drain. So that's a lot you can gather up. Around 2k combo, actually. Like the map is never ending. That's what you could say. A lot of finger control sections, and you know, even when you're I've seen halfway through and it's already a lot of some people might consider it stamina, but it's mostly just the split finger control that you have there, as well as some jumps. The thing is, they just refuse to stop it. The map is relentless, so it's definitely gonna test your overall abilities. And the accuracy, I feel like that is gonna be one of the main factors that's gonna determine whether a team is gonna feel comfortable. We are gonna see some people running out of the comfort finger control element, comfort consistency overall, because this map is I would definitely say that it's on the harder side of the pool here.
Yeah, I can see that being the case. I mean, 260 is... It's getting to those a bit more uncomfortable weekends. That's the best way to put it. It's getting to those uncomfortable levels, but... here we go. Getting the players ready. Seeing who these teams want to bring in for this map. There you go. You can see all of the map stats now with the, CS 4.3, AR 10.3, OD 10.1. Overall, nothing too crazy. The OD 10.1 could throw, some problems out there if you're not incredibly comfortable on 260, but overall, I can't see it being a major issue. And there's the rosters being brought in. Ukraine bringing in Epima, One Max, Evil Balna, and Poma. Indonesia bringing in Fuma, that noob guy, Bokatador, sorry if I mispronounced that, and Bryant.
Yeah, indeed. That is a very distinct, the classical tapping core that Indonesia has. Bokidor is, I believe, Measure McQueen did a rename right here, so one of the stronger tapping players right here, and they always send this roster for all the tapping maps. It was pretty funny because it used to be Skydiver playing all the tapping mechanics maps and qualifiers, but it seems like they changed the strategy. Let's see how this will work out. So far it has been, but right now the intro is out of the way, and Ukraine is actually having a slight advantage because of an early break from that noob guy.
Yeah, that early break isn't going to help too much, but as you can see, the score difference is already flickering a bit due to, some of the accuracies on each side looking extremely strong. Poma and Bokador do trade out that misses. Their score difference is going to be only sitting about at 1 to 5,000. It's going to be moving quite a bit, and then we see the miss coming in from Evil Bonner as well. So now that score difference is going to start to balance out, and it's going to wait till the next major misses come in, because there's 2 full combos on each side, but Noob Guy has got the better recovery so far, and it's going to start moving over, but Brian finds a miss.
Yeah, indeed, there it is so far. The plan is getting a bit out of hand for Indonesia. However, there is a break from Evil Balner, so it is not game over for Indonesia on their first opening pick. And that's what I have been saying, this map. It is quite dense. Now, finally, we're getting some sort of a little break to catch your breath. And both teams are seeing that they are contesting with each other, and no one wants to give an inch right here. Roma and One Max are here with a double FC, and Indonesia right now is slightly losing in that combo department, but that cannot last forever. There's still half of the map left, and in that last half, the map is only gonna spiral out of the control.
Yeah, I mean, score difference is going to be just kind of anchoring itself at 50k so far. Still waiting on, those next major misses to kick in. But so far, looking pretty decent. But Boketor does find that break, and that's not what you're looking for from the side of Indonesia. Noob Guy now follows suit as well. Fuma, no, the remaining full combo for their side does break, but Boulder falls apart now as well. Max falls apart, but
Oh my god.
It's just not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. There's still 2 major combos on the side of Ukraine.
Yeah, and I just cannot I cannot explain how much I respect the combo game from Europe right now with 89% accuracy being the only MC in the lobby and still counting. That is not something I expected. Roman is also here with a really good reverse choke going on, and it's already 360k score difference. Indonesia got overconfident with their speedy pick right here, and Ukraine made them pay for it. That is something that is really, really good for Ukraine to gain that early momentum, but for Indonesia, that is quite a disastrous first pick to open a match.
Yeah, I mean, that is a definitely strong pick to go into. I mean, getting a breakpoint on the board this early in, and you know, having someone with basically a full combo and 89% accuracy. I mean, this is just crazy. I mean, Yerova just bringing in an 89% accuracy FC, you just can't complain. That is combo gaming to the maximum. Same as Romo as well, actually getting 97 with an early break. I mean, those 2 performances are insane. And, I mean, look at the rest as well. Max 700k. Even one that unfortunately only, you know, did go behind a bit with the 375k, but didn't really matter because they've got such a crazy overall team score there. And, you know, Indonesia getting that breakpoint, losing that breakpoint early in, not what you want to see from them. Does, you know, throw some questions up there, but, you know, you can lose an early breakpoint and still bring it back. You just need to not lose the mental for it, and that is kind of what you hope for Indonesia here.
Yeah, you can. And, well, overall, Ukraine seemed to be really, really sharp with their, well, previous match and this one. Always open the map, open the match with a breakpoint. I mean, last time Ukraine was winning against Thailand, it was 5-0, literally, one step away from doing that sweep. And, well, seems like now they're repeating that. It's just up to them to have a really comfortable pick that they will do to gain a 2-0 score advantage. And, well, compared to the previous match that they played, it was mostly the Hard Rocks they actually used to pick. Hard Rock 2, Hard Rock 3 came into play. Hard Rock 2 is not going to be an option anymore. Hard Rock 3 still might be, as well as some of the other control maps that we saw from them being picked, like for example Fremont 4, DD4. There is a lot of room for exploration for Ukraine at that moment, and it's just up to them if they decide to stick to the strategy they used before or they try to go for something new. But overall, Ukraine is, you know, always been a country in this tournament that kind of changes their strategies a lot depending on their opponents. They're quite well rounded, and you just never know which maps, which skill sets Ukraine will pick this time.
Yeah, I mean, they really do just play that strategy game, right? Like, I think most teams you see when they play this game, they just go, okay, we're good at this, they're not, we play this. Ukraine will literally just go, they're not good at this, so we become good at it now.
Yeah.
That is honestly just a dedicated team, I think. But, you know, now they're going to be opting into their first map pick, going into the Hard Rock 3 of Dolphin Shoals. Honestly, I don't think I'd expect this to be an opening pick by many teams. But, I mean, Ukraine clearly have got a game plan going on here, and this map is diabolical. I think it does count as ult. I think it is ult, and it is some good bit of flowing ult here, but some really diabolical patterns as well that, you know, are like basically full set jumps. But yeah, yes. Overall, quite a diabolical map.
It is. Well, yeah, this map is a lot of things. First of all, it's banger song, right? It's yes. Mario Kart, right? 1 minute 25 seconds, the shortest map in the pool, but that allows it to have incredible density, incredible snap ult patterns that you already mentioned. They last up to 30 nodes and are very, very hard to hit. If you miss once, you are basically guaranteed to node lock at least a couple more nodes after that. Last time, Ukraine got a 2.7 million team score on that against Thailand. It was Cooler Bra actually have seen the map getting 1 million score individual. Arguably, it might be the top score of this weekend, if I'm not wrong. Overall, Ukraine was pretty comfortable in terms of accuracies. It was 97, 98 across the board. So, of course it's RNG. Of course it's RNG, but Ukraine has the potential to perform well on this map. For Indonesia, though, as a team that or did ban those hard rocks in a couple of their matches. It's gonna be fun to see.
Yeah, overall, this map, I just can't get over how funny this map is. The song, the map, it's just so peak. It's beautiful upon your ears. But honestly, but then you start playing the map and then you start delving down into sanity. But they're players, they can deal with that. They've played enough tournaments of the time. They've seen enough maps similar enough to this. And yeah, I mean, Ross is now being brought in as well. Seeing Roma, Gilabra, Corona, 4G, and Max for the side of Ukraine. And then Indonesia bring in Maccabe, Bookredor, Noob Guy, and Sky Diver. Overall, again, a very solid rosters. And, the name I think people expect to see in the last map is now finally here.
Yeah, indeed. It seems like Skydiver, took the spot of playing those control maps after trying tapping mechanics. So far, we'll see how this goes. The intro is already giving us a pretty good sign of what's about to come, because a bunch of players are already finding those early breaks. Skydiver and Bukador gonna be falling a bit behind from the very beginning. It's already first quarter in, so every miss matters. And here comes another one from Maccabi and Torva. Oh my god, that Noob Guy broke again. And now it's just no full combos inside Indonesia. Just after that, there is almost 400k score difference already.
Yeah, I mean, early in, not even early, we're halfway point of the map, and this is now looking pretty one-sided for Ukraine. They have definitely brought a roster that is comfortable on this map, and look at some of those patterns going from ult to straight up triangles repeating. I mean, it is a bit diabolical, and now we're seeing misses coming in. The major misses as well for Indonesia. Skydiver and Bokador and Maccabe find their misses. Max finds a miss as well now, but there's still two full combos on the side of Ukraine. What are we doing?
The big slider is here, and Corona for Healers Roman do nail that. That is insane. That is a crazy improvement from last match. Corona is not gonna FC. In fact, no one is gonna FC from Ukraine, but that team score. First of all, it's a 1 million gap. That is a freaking canyon, not a gap between the two countries. And second of all, they improved it by almost 500,000 compared to yesterday, so they can be very happy about this one, Torva. And 2-0, exactly what they were looking for. Control is something that, well, we could definitely see Ukraine having an upper hand on now that they won HR3. They are favored on basically all the other alt maps that you have left in the pool. And it's more about Indonesia actually not being comfortable on both aiming and actually hacking the map.
I mean, it's early in for Indonesia. Yeah, that doesn't look too strong. The Ukraine have opened up with some heavy hitters already, with the breakpoint, of course, and then the Hard Rock 3, and their comfort on Hard Rock 3 shouldn't be real, man. That should not be real. That Hard Rock 3, they made it look easy. I don't know how to describe it. They made it look easy, right? And I mean, now Indonesia gets to have a pick again. They go back to their side. And honestly, I don't know what they could really pick into here, because Ukraine are already looking a bit too scary on quite a range of things. I mean, they've shown that 260 PM, burst tapping. Sure, they may not have the accuracy everyone would love to see, but they play the combo game and they play it well. Hard Rock 3, other way around. They play the combo game and the accuracy game, so you don't want to play into alternate maps against them. Where do we go from there?
There is one other avenue that I would try to explore if I were Indonesia. Indonesia actually picked a bunch of consistency maps against South Korea last time, which some of them did work, but seems like this time around they will be opting into no mod 5. Quite interesting. Ukraine, they do not typically go for gimmick maps, but they didn't ban those either. Like AG2 is on the table, Prima 2 is on the table. Even Nomad 4 and, well, Nomad 5 being one of those. I feel like they will be able to compete on this Nomad 5, but Indonesia does have a reason they are picking this one. They played it yesterday, as mentioned, against Austria, and I believe they had Twi HD, one of their strongest gimmick players. Almost have seen the map get a 900k score, so maybe that is the carry performance they are betting on right here.
Yeah, but betting carry performances, it's always a kind of a risky game, because, having that full-on carry performance is going to go extremely well if it does happen, but relying on it does open you to a few risks. If they're having just that one unfortunate miss, or that one time, not entirely most optimal, not the most ideal, but if you're able to have it pay off, it can go great. And on a map like this, if your team is not comfortable on it, the likelihood is your enemy team will not be comfortable on it all too much, because this is AR6. But having that team performance will pay off a lot stronger on average than maybe a carry performance, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this has been the case where just one carry wasn't always enough to win this Nomad 5. We saw a couple of breakpoints as well happen on this one. So overall, quite a risky map. It is AR6. The main difficulty is, of course, you have those kind of flower-looking overlap patterns at AR6, right? So a lot of density here. You have just regular nodes as well as sliders being just placed on top of each other. Being quite rhythm-ish as well, and even once you hit those, even the slow sections of the map, you cannot really catch your breath on, because you just need to be dialed in all the time. You have those funny, let's say, reverse slider patterns that are really easy to miss on if you do not pay attention. So you need to have your cursor spot on and your mindset as well. So see how this goes. We're seeing Kohler Brav for Team Ukraine, one of the strongest gimmick players, who was initially fulfilling that role. So all eyes on him if Ukraine wants to get a breakpoint. Same for Irama, two really strong hidden players. And Indonesia is indeed sending in 2WC2026 gonna be the main anchor for this Nomad 5. And here we are, Dora.
Yeah, I mean, very early in, we're already seeing quite a few misses to be found. I mean, 2WC2026 did find an early miss. Both Retador and Fuma all found the early misses. Ukraine, however, only losing one with Urama, but even then, they go down as well. Yeah, this map, just from the get-go, you can see how evil it gets. The density, just because that approach rate, it makes this map borderline impossible sometimes. If you don't actively play easy in your free time, this map probably looks atrocious to you, but some of these players, they've had to get used to practicing this skill set. They've had to get used to, being ready for it, because they clearly didn't want to ban it out for a reason. And so far, I mean, even with the combos being found on the side of Ukraine, the score advantage is going to be sitting on the side of Indonesia, but that new guy does find that break, and now the floodgate might open slowly, because there's still oh no, never mind. No, the major combos on Ukraine did break, other than Evil Bonner. Never mind, it's still balancing out.
Yeah, indeed, Kohler Brav is not happy with that one miss. Now just leaving Evil Bonner, the team captain, to take in against Bokador, one of the Indonesia's main carries. The last third of the map, by the way, being the hardest one. So, well, we will see who takes the win in this duel. And they both know they need to keep holding, but only one team will be able to win this one. Here we are starting with a little sneak peek, and that's these reverse sliders that I was talking about. Bokador is gonna get caught off guard by one of those, but Evil Bolner seems like he is in the right mood right now. 600 combo and still counting, 98% accuracy, 100k score to go. The Ukraine is still losing. The recoveries in Indonesia are here and they're trying to defeat the beast right here, having a boss fight at the very ending of the map, and it seems like it's working because the score is clearly not shifting fast enough on the side of Ukraine, even though Evil Balner is reverse choking. But no, there is a last break from Evil Balner, which is going to be the last nail in the coffin on this map. Nomad 5, Indonesia managed to stand their ground.
Yeah, they played that extremely well, I'd honestly argue. I mean, I don't even think this was one of those ones we were looking at, we're saying about the star performances. Didn't even need to happen. Ukraine definitely played for that star performance with Evil Bonds, 812k, but Indonesia, they planted their feet, they stood their ground, and they even averaged such a good, strong team score there, basically all averaging 500k, with, of course, the 460s, 430s being there, but the 560s, 540 there as well. Overall, a great team performance, and definitely a way to get yourself back into the game with that Nomad 5, but now Ukraine have a chance to answer back, and Indonesia, if they want to balance this out, they are going to need that break point. But let's see what Ukraine go into here and see how plausible of a situation that will be.
Yeah, they really do. I would honestly consider it really interesting if Ukraine picked, for example, Nomad 3, because Ukrainian upper buff. That would be really interesting. But also, realistically, it could work for Ukraine, because HR3 was one control map, Nomad 3 is another control map. It's more about flow aim, but it does have snap ult elements, which we did see on HR3. And overall Normal 3 being one of the hardest maps in the pool also makes it even more appetizing, I would say, for Ukraine, but we shall wait and see. There is a reason this one was not picked in their previous match, so could be that. Now they're gone for free mod, for actually quite the opposite of that Nomad 3, because free mod 3 is considered one of the easiest maps in this pool. Free mod 1, I mean.
I mean, yeah, this free mod 1 overall, I see the player. I see it.
Yep.
All right, it's a good play to go into here. Ukraine have shown, you know, at least the hard rock side of things, they're comfortable. No matter what the skill set it is, because Dolphin shows is honestly in my eyes the worst hard rock, in the sense of everything that could go wrong will go wrong with that map, and yet somehow it didn't for them. So the hard rock side of things, I think they'll be more than fine on. Hidden, I'm not too sure on Hidden's strengths, but for Ukraine's strengths on Hidden, but overall, for a map like this, I don't think Hidden is going to be too big of a problem for you, right? I mean, it's at like a 9.2, and it's not like it's crazy dense or crazy reading focus, so I think the Hidden players will be more than fine for this. And overall, for the roster of Ukraine, I mean, they've shown that they're going to be relatively comfortable on this, but I also feel like Indonesia can definitely get some good scores on here. But I don't know, this one just feels like it's going to be that battle of consistency nearly for 3 minutes 16.
Yeah, I would expect that. It's a whole different story compared to that HR3. As mentioned, well, we did see Indonesia land some HDs in their previous matches, but it doesn't matter. This map, it is awkward aim. You do have some slider action, but not to the point that, you know, it's slider aim or slider attack. It's just testing your overall consistency, and I do not think Indonesia will have major issues with that, especially on that free mod 1 that we're looking at. It is quite... well, some might draw a parallel from this free mod 1 to the no mod 1. It was a bit higher BPM, as well featuring awkward aim, but this free mod 1 is just... you know, it's not so constant in terms of those jumps. It plays like a very, very chill map, so it's just a pure consistency tag. After seeing this map, we will get the answer of who's overall more consistent in this pool and who will have, you know, those doors open for other XX1 slots.
Yeah, I mean, having those, you know, those XX1 slots open up for you, especially for a team, you know, they're going to help quite a bit. You know, you do get quite a few of them. And, you know, a lot of them don't change too much in a sense, but, you know, have just enough to, of course, be their own map. But, again, it's still a nice situation to be in. Here we go. Players are already locked in. And, yeah, we're going to be seeing the teams. It's going to be Evil Bona and Yorima with the Hidden, and then Chrono 4G with Hard Rock for Study Ukraine, of course, Kilobrat running the No Mod. On the other side, it is going to be, of course, the same kind of lineup where it's going to be Makabe and YHD running the Hiddens, of course, and that new guy operating with the Hard Rock. Fuma going with the No Mod. Overall, looking to try and keep the most consistent players on the No Mods just to guarantee those draws in. That new guy and Bona and Yorima and Makabe all find those trades, and now it's YHD, Krona, Kilobrat and Fuma all with the remaining full combos, balancing out their scores to just about 40k in favor of Indonesia, but overall still very close to the first quarter.
Yes, indeed. The first guy claimed a bit way too many players from what I was expecting right here. So it's only 4 FCs left. It's a 2 versus 2. Right now, the slower section, the second verse, is gonna give some more free combo to both sides. So that will make their combos even more precious. And if they lose those in second K, that's gonna be quite tragic. So far we were just bracing for the impact, and the accuracy on Chrono 4G is just mind-boggling. 99.85% accuracy, I believe, just dropping 1/100 so far. Definitely on the run. Here's another one, but it doesn't really matter. Indonesia, though, is not backing down whatsoever. They really want to get that second point, get a break point, return the favor to Ukraine from the DD2 that they lost. And soon enough, we're seeing the second KI. Let's see if anyone will get caught off guard by this one. Yorima is going to be the first one to break, but he's not the one I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, that score difference is still going to be shifting slowly in favor of Indonesia. We do see Makabe find a miss. Does add a small bit of a wound there, but nothing that's going to, you know, go too crazy. You don't need to worry about it just too much yet. Of course, you know, Ukraine do have their combos there, but Yurama was, you know, one who did miss a few moments earlier, so it's balancing out the Chrono 4G. Oh, that's a bad break for the side of Ukraine. A big combo to go down, and their top scorer finding that break. Makabe finding another miss to trade it out, but, you know, that's a trade that benefits only Indonesia, especially when they still have 3 crazy combos on the board versus 2 from Ukraine. You know, they're still trying to catch up. Epona and Kelebra both. They're doing work, but, you know, the work of Indonesia right now is looking more and more scary. So IHD was, you know, was the one to find the break there, but does bring Kelebra with them, so they're just going to be balanced out this whole time. That score difference is just going to keep building for Indonesia.
Yeah, indeed, and this is what I was really concerned about. This 3-1 is quite a contested map between teams that are seated that high as Ukraine and Indonesia, and Indonesia just made a coin flip turn into their favor with a really solid victory right here. 270k score advantage. They started shifting towards Ukraine because of Evil Balner's great recovery, but it wasn't just enough time. And yeah, consistency right here. Indonesia, TYHD was just one or two slider breaks, looking very steady. So that is one thing that we now know about Indonesia, and Ukraine will definitely not make the same mistake again of picking another consistency-based map.
Yeah, I mean, picking consistency into, you know, Indonesia so far looking like, you know, a very scary option to go into, and I think that's just going to keep going more and more as the match goes on. Overall, we've just been quite a scary team, but, you know, they are matching each other now. They're at 2-2. And, I mean, we said about, you know, Indonesia needs to get that breakpoint on the board to try and make up for the very start of the match. Well, they've done it now. And now we're basically back to it. You can just count this as 0-0, but, you know, first to 4. Because they have absolutely balanced each other out here. And now Indonesia are back to their picking spots. And, I mean, you were mentioning, right? If you do well on free mod 1, all of the XX1 slots open. There are 4 maps available to them. It's not a guaranteed pick, but a very strong pick at least.
Yeah, there really are. And I also know for a fact that Indonesia, they did fancy No Mod 1 in their match against South Korea, for example, as well as DT1. So it might very well be an option now that they have also established that, you know, free mod 1 went to their favor. So all the modded consistency maps, all the more generic ones are looking quite stable for them. While for Ukraine, I wouldn't be so sure. They might need to explore some other territories on control, I would say. I would suggest that. But right now, it is Indonesia, and it's either consistency for me or another control map. And they're going for No Mod 4. We're exploring some tech here.
Yeah, I mean, this map, it definitely fits the category of tech. But this map, if it's the map I remember this being and think it is,
I think so.
This is evil. This map honestly feels more rhythm controlled than tech, because some of those patterns will just change, not necessarily change BPMs or tempo, but like, I know tempo is the one that changes, but you know, you don't really get a major way to see it with no mod. So you just have to feel this song, and then once all that's down out of the way, then you're allowed to go into the tech map. And then that's when things also keep getting scarier, because it's just, you know, a long slider aim and just quite a few patterns that will cause you major trip-ups. But again, that rhythm control, especially early in, yeesh, it definitely becomes a problem.
Yeah, it really does. This also plays to the fact that usually you do happen to see this particular No Mod 4 in pre-mod slots, right? But here it is a no mod, so some might say that it's gonna be quite an easier side of things. So it's gonna come down to the rhythm checks and consistency. And so far, for Indonesia, it doesn't seem like a problem. However, I would like to mention that Ukraine is also a controller-heavy team. I mean, just look at Kohler Brive, that is not enough, and he's not the only one who can absolutely shred on maps like that. Same for Roman, I am more than sure. So that's another similar story to free mod 1. It can go either way, I feel like. I would say that there were some better picks for Indonesia in this point of a match, but this also does make sense. It's just they need to feel confident.
I mean, I can imagine they're definitely starting to feel confident again. They've got their 2 points back that they wanted. And you know, if they were to have confidence at a point in the match, I mean, they have momentum of 2 picks in a row, so I think this could be a decent spot to go into. But yeah, I mean, this early in with how random this map can feel, yeah, it does feel weird to have this early in. But I mean, if they're going into it, clearly they have a plan that we don't see yet, and you know, you just gotta respect it. But you know, here we go into this No Mod 4. Very, very rhythm control intro to the second half, becoming very, very tech heavy, as you kind of expect from a No Mod 4. But yeah, that first half definitely a lot scarier than you'd maybe think so when you see a normal No Mod 4.
Absolutely. Ukraine, yesterday they got 2.4 million team score, so Indonesia is feeling very confident that they will be able to match that and to in fact outperform that. So let's see if they will be able to complete that challenge. Right now we're looking at the accuracy difference and it's almost non-existent, honestly. No one is holding above 96. It's only Roman with 95.7 leading the charge right now, but score is just flickering. We will need to wait for the first KI. So far both teams are showing that they're quite equal when it comes to the rhythm control. Here comes a longer 40 note rhythm section, and no one seems to be finding any breaks on that one, so that is quite good. And here we are, get ready for the first KI because there's some slider action will also begin.
Yeah, and as map now starts to kick back off into this tech side of things, Noob Guy is going to be the first one to find that break. Unfortunately missed it right before it, but score difference is just going to slowly start dwindling back into favor of Ukraine. But, you know, any misses from this point onwards from either side is when things will start to really shift. And there it is, the miss from Evil Bona does, you know, come out here, and another one as well. Just getting 2 unfortunate misses there, and that score difference now should start to close back over to the other side of Indonesia, because, of course, there's 3 full combos to 3, but Noob Guy is on a bit of a better recovery through this section.
Yeah, indeed, Il Ballner was the one to actually top score the map last time. Seems like this time he will need to rely on his teammates, but his teammates are answering the call right now. Holding a 3-way FC, we're not seeing Twy HD, which is quite interesting. Hopefully nothing bad happened here. Right now, Bucket Door and Blank Tower holding a 2-way FC, not sure about Twy. And that Noob Guy with a recovery, but really cannot say much right here for the side of Indonesia, not knowing what happened to one of the players. Ukraine, though, is holding quite strong. Roman is fighting the break, and well, right now it's 360k score difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's just unfortunate to see, you know, one of the players, they have just not been here no longer, but yeah, for the players that I had, we have seen some misses being brought in. I mean, Roman bringing in a miss, a blank tap as well, unfortunately finding a few slider breaks there. But Bocador is still holding on strong. Noob Guy recovering well as well. Before Twee went, we did see that they had the full combo, so we're not entirely sure of what happened from this point onwards, but you know, they're still got to compete with the 2 full combos on the side, but Noob Guy is the one to fall down, but Kilo Brad does find the break as well. So now it's just Yamarab, just only one remaining on those major combos in Evil Bonner as well. But Bocador does go down as well. All the full combos that we can see for Indonesia have gone, and they're still competing against 1 full combo and a very strong recovery.
Yeah, and this time it's Rama to steal the spotlight from Indonesia, from teammates of his own, top scorer in this entire lobby. I believe that's either a reverse choke or a low accuracy FC, but it's a very, very good score. Evil Ballner is gonna lose the recovery, but it doesn't matter. 2.4 million team score once again, even 2.5 outperforming themselves from yesterday. Very stable across the board for Ukraine, this No Mod 4. And we have been informed that Twice laptop crashed, unfortunately. That was an actual disconnect, unfortunately. And well, obviously abort could not have been an option because it was already halfway into the map. So it's gonna be the 3rd point awarded to Ukraine in any case here.
Yeah, it's been unfortunate to see that happen. You know, the laptop crash. I mean, I just saw the two in general, like they're just mid slider and the PC has just stopped, which is a bit unfortunate. But you know, I mean, there's not much you can really do. I think even if Twy was there, it would have been there was going to be needed a lot of scores to try and bring that one back. I mean, Yarma did bring an incredible score to the board, same with Hula and, you know, Balna. So, you know, you would need an incredible score to try and have that point go back in your favor either way. But No More Thought goes to Ukraine, and of course, Ukraine are now going to get their pick as well.
Yeah, indeed, a breakpoint. After a breakpoint right here for Ukraine, I believe we have already seen 3 breakpoints in this match. which is well, already quite intriguing. And now Ukraine tried to finally run away from Indonesia. They managed in the beginning, but then Indonesia caught up, and now they have a perfect opportunity to not let it happen again. And the real question is, what do we go for here? Torva, we do see Fremont for DD4. Those are the maps that they picked last time. They're still on the table. I would say if you want to try and skill cap your opponents, that would actually... I would be more leaning towards the DT4 is in here, because it just has so many skill sets in it, and it's definitely more so a specialist pick. You need to be very versatile in the overall skill sets that you have in this pool to be able to comfortably play DT4. And I feel like Ukraine just showed us that they have what it takes. Maybe it was the exception of the raw consistency. But 484 would be favored to Ukraine right here. We will see the final response soon enough, but right now I believe we got a message that that both countries are a bit stuck in the lobby. I'm not sure. Oh, they're good. They're good. Never mind. That was a false.
Now we're big chilling. We're big chilling now. All right.
Yep.
Elliot.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned right, the DT4 314 play here, I feel like it's definitely a shout.
Definitely because of, and I mean, the skills that you're mentioning, right, the DT4 as well being kind of mixed of everything, which Ukraine have shown to be quite strong on. And I mean, you were mentioning as well, their consistency doesn't really scale to Indonesia's level. But the map isn't even that long where I would say the consistency becomes a major threat either. So, yeah, I think that DT4 does feel like quite a perfect pick for Ukraine so far, at least in this current moment. But then, also if they want to throw curveballs, they've still got a lot of options open. I mean, I think they avoided Hinto because they had the carry potential, but they didn't have they didn't have the team potential for something like that Hinto, like they did on the No Mod 5. And then, I mean, No Mod 3 could be a shout for them as well because they showed really strong prowess on the Huddle 3.
I can see that. I could also see on top of the control maps, I could see the Fremont 2 actually being picked by Ukraine. Just remembering what they did yesterday on that. Super strong hard rock performance, and overall Fremont 2 is one of those maps where if you just do not play it with easy, it becomes really hard with a lot of any other mods, because just has so much versatility in it. It plays like an old map, has very diabolical aim patterns in the second half, as well as some rhythm changes and some flow bursts. But about it, and we are getting something. Oh my god. Oh, that is interesting. Yeah, we've been told that apparently not only the player clients have been broken, but also the streamer ones. So we're gonna take a minute or two to reboot the entire thing. We're still gonna be there, so it's fine. Because Bancho is dead apparently here.
We love Bancho. We love Bancho.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, shout outs to our sponsors, because, well, we have time, so why not mention that? Thanks a lot to Bima Entertainment. They're a multimedia label, so if you're an aspiring artist, if you're a composer or designer and want to explore, more opportunities and overall meet other people like yourself, you should definitely check out their Discord server. If you're interested in anything like that, there is a Discord link right here. And we also are holding a giveaway by Slider Pals and Kagami Studios, giving away 6 Slider Pal stickers as well as 3 Meow pads. Those are the key pads that Kagami Studios make. So you can check this one out down below in the About section, and just press on the image and you will be taken there. The results are also on the 25th of August, so in 2 days, so make sure you don't miss that one. But that is about it. That hopefully should be enough here, because we seem to be done with the timeout, and No Mod 1 seems to be the next choice.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pick I'm not too too confident on from Ukraine. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? It's a No Mod 1 that everyone's going to be relatively comfortable to a certain degree, but Indonesia have already shown at least on the Xbox One slots, at least this match as well, that, they're going to be quite good on it. And then on top of that, we've also, had the prior experience to showcase, again, that, on the No Mod 1, they're going to be pretty comfortable. But with this map, I feel like that's, something you would need more than anything, is just be that comfortable on it. Because it's 2 minutes 37, it's not like it's crazy long consistency, but, this map does throw quite a few problems to the wall if you're not ready for this kind of, aim with bars littered in between. But again, that aim is just the main requirement.
Yeah, indeed. The angles of those jumps, they're quite terrifying. And overall, it was played in COE 2024 one event tournament. It was no one over there. 226 BPM, constant jumps. Within those 2 minutes, the map basically never. It just picks up its pace at the very beginning and it never drops it till the very end of the song. So I like to give it a definition of stamina aim, and I guess that is what it mostly is here. So as the BPM is helping that factor. And yeah, Ukraine overall, that taken strategy. Freeman one didn't work out, but they are still doubling down on another consistency map. We will see how this works out for them. But I am still a bit worried. I'm not sure this should be the exact map we want to get a 4th point on, but if Ukraine manages to prove us wrong, well, be my guest.
Yeah. It feels like too scary of a gamble to me, man. Like, again, I see the idea. I see why it's a No Mod 1. Basically everyone plays this. Everyone's gonna be comfortable with this, and they're just praying they're slightly more comfortable on this. But the free Mod 1, as you mentioned, right, already didn't go their way. No Mod 1, yeah. I feel like does have quite a few things over that free Mod 1, but only time will tell, I guess. Only time will tell. Maybe this is like the secret pick from Ukraine that are just gonna absolutely go God mode on, and that's what you're hoping for from them. But early in, we're already seeing 2 misses coming from Corona, 4G, and Evil Balna. Blank Tap did trade them earlier in, but overall it's that 2 combo breaks to 1. It is gonna be benefiting Indonesia this early in.
Yeah, and then last time Indonesia got a 2.3 million team score against Austria on this No Mod 1, and that is not a weak score by any means, but Ukraine needs to get a bigger one if they are confident getting the 4th point. Indonesia as well, not being in a bad shape by any means today, so there's a high chance they will also outperform themselves. But we shall just wait and see, as we're down with the first quarter of the map, and so far Indonesia is definitely showing no signs of struggle on this map. Skydiver, however, the moment I mentioned I'm gonna be finding a break, the one with one of the best actresses in the lobby is now down, so Ukraine is back in the game, but Chrono 4G is trading that. Same for Colorado.
Yeah, those misses for the side of Ukraine not looking the most ideal so far. That score difference is going to continue to build for the side of Indonesia. I mean, yeah, those combo breaks from Kula and Chrono are not aggressive. Skydiver did trade them out, as mentioned earlier, but those 3 combos inside of Indonesia versus the 2 for Ukraine, just going to keep building a bigger score difference. Sorry, and now we're getting towards the last third of the map, and there's still so many strong combos on the board, and just no one wants to slip up, because anyone does, it's just gonna cause a bit of a cataclysm for their side. And yet, the side of Indonesia just looking so comfortable. They're just not risking anything here.
Yeah, Indonesia is not going down without a fight right here, and they are proving Ukraine wrong once more right now. Just the last quarter of the map is left, but that 3-way is looking incredibly scary. Well, the reverse choke from Blank Tower doesn't really matter right here, as Evil Baller is fighting that Drake. He is taking down Maccabi, but it is just not enough. Chrono 4G and Evil Baller are finding more breaks. Skydiver trades that, but he's not the one I've seen the map. It is that noob guy who is leading the charge right now. Same for Blank Tap. The dynamic duo of Team Indonesia on those A maps are gonna take the hit. Hirama is gonna falter at the end of this map. It's only Cooler Brow is a good recovery, but Ukraine once again got too close to the sun, and the map made them pay for it. Another break point, a 4th one in this match, and Torva, no, but that is joking at the last pattern. No. So close.
Tragic one miss. But I mean, that tragic one miss, it's still an incredibly good performance from them. I mean, They're wanting that third point of the way. They wanted to equalize again. This is becoming a match of breakpoints nearly. And I mean, the reverse choke from Blank Tap and the true choke from Noob Guy is all they needed, of course, as well, with the, combos from Makabe and Skydiver as well, looking extremely strong. But, we were talking about earlier in, right? You don't want to risk the XX1 slots into Indonesia after that frame on one, and now there's more to that tale of you don't want to risk it now more so because of Nomad 1 as well. They are so scarily good at it, and they still have 3 more of those maps available to them. But see what they want to opt into here. Do they learn the ways? Do they just kind of spam down the one line of Hard Rock 1, Hidden 1, DT1, or do they continue to try and let them pick into it and just pick something else they're going to feel a bit better on?
That's a good question. I would say I'd probably hear out Indonesia definitely double down on the consistency maps here. I am in particular actually looking at HR1. It's one of the more conventional maps. It's just consistency, just raw consistency. But no, Indonesia, despite winning 2 consistency maps that could have been the instrument of execution for them, they are deciding to go for a gimmick map, which I also do hear out, because Nomad 5, they won that one by 100k, which wasn't too stable enough, but, well, a point is a point. And AG2 has been here, I believe, one of the first times we're actually seeing AG2 getting played in this match. Usually, if you do not like gimmick maps, you typically ban AG2 and not Nomad 5, which definitely tells us that, well, some people consider AG2 way harder than the Nomad 5 that they usually leave unbanned.
Yeah, I mean, this Hidden 2 is quite brutal, right? It's really low out of 7.5. It's, brutal in its patterns, it's brutal in its everything. And, this is one of those maps I was looking at earlier, right, where, I see Ukraine with an idea in picking this, but in fact it's going to be Indonesia, of course, picking this. And I get this idea. Again, I think all of us would agree that maybe the XX1 slots might have been objectively a stronger play. But again, I see where we go into this from. This is, it's kind of the same thing where we saw with the Nomad 5, right? Ukraine are probably going to be relying on a star player to go absolutely crazy, which did happen on the Nomad 5, yet, a star player isn't going to be able to compete too much against 4 team scores that are just going to be overall quite good. And, we've already seen that Indonesia can do that more than needed to.
Yeah, indeed. I'm just really hoping, Torva, that TwyHD has fixed the issue with the laptop, because TwyHD is arguably the strongest gimmick player for Team Indonesia. They were the one who, I believe, was like in top 10 by individual stats on AG2 and overall getting over 1 million there, and Team Indonesia getting seed 11 AG2 in quals, while Ukraine getting seed 30, which was one of their lowest seeds overall in qualifiers. And this AG2 is not easy by any means. It is structural reading. You also count in that BPM 125, so it becomes not just structural reading but also control, and it is quite constant as well. In 2 minutes and 25 seconds you have a lot of quite repetitive gameplay, but there is just always so many notes and sliders on the screen that only the gimmick specialist will be able to fully feel freely on this map.
Yeah, let's see how free they're truly feeling on a map like this, because, I mean, it's definitely brutal to say the least. I mean, AR 7.5 is not an approach rate many people play, and especially on the Hidden 2 categories. A lot of people just go to hidden AR 8, and that's all they want to play. But, it seems like there's actually not too many major fall aparts we've seen so far. I mean, we're seeing Irama and Makabe does find those early misses, but everyone else looking a lot more comfortable than maybe at least I expected. But TwyHD does find the miss, Pokethor does find the miss as well. And a chain miss coming from Makabe. So far, Ukraine are looking strong on this with the 3 team scores on the first quarter.
Yeah, and it may be a 4th player syndrome right here for Indonesia, but no, not anymore. Pokethor is also finding the break. Indonesia overall not having a strong start on a pick of their own. Diorama does trade it out, and here comes another one from Cooler Bra, but until then, it was really looking good for Ukraine now that We're entering the more dense sections. More and more breaks are coming in. 2 from Indonesia, traded by 1 from Evil Balner. Only Chrono 4G to actually survive that thunderstorm. The entire of the lobby is finding those breaks. Fama did fumble right here. And Indonesia is now once again need to catch up. And they had a perfect opportunity because Chrono 4G is fighting a break.
Yeah, I mean, those misses now being found outside of Ukraine does open the chances for Indonesia. We do see another miss coming in from Balner as well. The score difference is only 45k, and there's still a third of the map to go. They can start to claw this one back, and the score difference scales back over in favor of Indonesia. And there's 300 combo for Twy, 300 combo for Maccabee, 270 for Fuma, and on the 200 combo moment, Bokathor does find the break, but it is going to get traded out. But that's not as good as you'd hope for. Maccabee, Fuma, and Bokathor all find the breaks, and Yama and Bono were the only ones to trade it out.
Yeah, this Twy HD versus Cooler Bra right now. The battle of those newbies who are really strong, both of them, but Twy HD this time is not going to take the edge, not going to hold it. Cooler Bra is the one taking the charge of the attack, but no, never mind. Another break, another note lock. So much density on this map that players are just not being able to withstand. Indonesia, however, in the war of attrition, the accuracy is what's gonna matter, and it seems like they have that lead just basis of that, and Indonesia are gonna finally take the lead in this match, making it 4-3.
Yeah, they are finally now the ones to, lead forward. They got the break point, they got their point back. And now, if they don't want to go to tiebreak, they want to try and close the games as early as possible, they need to find another break point because, there's still the picks coming in from Ukraine as well. But over from the team side of things there on this one, I mean, the accuracy from Twy HD was just incredible. Sitting at 97%. And overall, the highest actually in the lobby. Combo game-wise, going towards, I believe that was... I can't remember. They left immediately. I don't remember the name. Hold on, let me pull up this. Hold on, I'm gonna remember who this was now because I'm gonna be upset if I don't.
All right.
Yeah, Chrono coming in with. Oh, sorry, Fuma coming in with the overall best score, but Chrono as well right behind with the 459 to 456k. Overall, incredible performances from them.
Yeah. Totally. Oh my god. Now that, Indonesia finally managed to consolidate that lead, found out what they can, what they cannot play, and seems like stabilized. It's up to Ukraine to now follow it. If they fail to do so, if they fail to win a pick of their own now, it's gonna look very, very grim, and Indonesia might take over right here. Ukraine, I would not pick a third XX1 slot right here. I would probably go for either of the free mods, or I would honestly
send it with a normal 2. Send it.
Power metal time. There we go.
Yeah, that's the play right there. I'm not biased at all and want to listen to Jane's Destiny. Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's what we want. Well, we just have to wait and see for Ukraine. I do not know why they are not going for DT4 free mod 4 right here, considering that was pretty clear pick from them in the previous match. Here's just not happening. They could also... Okay, no, never mind. I was about to say they could try HR2 because they had a really good team score, but it's not on the table anymore. If they want to go try precision though, Freemod 2 is still here. That's why I said one of the Freemods could be picked, but seems like it's a bit of a stalemate for Ukraine here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the best actual picks for Ukraine. I mean, the Freemod 2 definitely something on the board if they want to go into it. But of course, we were talking earlier, and that DT4 being on the table is such a strong shout for them because of the range of skill sets this map will bring in. Plus, not being too long where the consistency is a major requirement. This map, I feel like this map just has Ukraine plastered over it, and I believe that is the pick they're going to be going into.
Yeah, it might be. 2.7 million team score was the performance they got last time, and I do believe they underperformed. They did in fact lose DT4 against Thailand because Thailand got almost 3 million team score. But Ukraine just looking at those accuracies. They had 1FC and everyone else got either 97 or 98% accuracies, definitely being able to pull it up with an FC, because it was 2S ranks out of those 3 people who did not FC the map. So they can really improve their score right now, and that would be huge for them to make it 4-4. But right now, well, do they have the right mindset to do such is the question. The map is quite short, 2 minutes, 3 seconds. Consistency is not going to matter, so it's definitely helping Ukraine. You do not need to keep holding for 4 minutes straight, so it's quite great here. It's just the momentum that they will need to get in this map, similar fashion to with HR3.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how the HR3 went, right? We saw that was pretty Ukraine-sided. Maybe, I mean, for their side, they are hoping that to be the same case here with the DT4, but, you know, only time will tell. Maybe Indonesia since then have, you know, dialed in and went, nah, we're not letting that happen again. And, I mean, so far, the point them taking the advantage now shows they have definitely started to lock in a bit more, but you'll only see when this DT4 starts. Of course, hit me up. And for the players we're seeing, for the side of Ukraine, One Max, Roma, Krona, sorry, and Evil Bona. Side of Indonesia, seeing Noob Guy, Bokador, Brian, and Fruma.
Yeah, there it is the very same lineup that we saw from Ukraine on DT4 yesterday, trying to outperform themselves right here. As mentioned, a lot of density, a lot of control, some rhythm checks here and there, finger control as well, and yeah, this is what you would expect to see on DT4. Just a lot of different skill sets mixed with each other, and here we are starting quite fast pace in this map as well, 205 BPM, and have a lot of action going on. So every miss is gonna matter from the very beginning. So far, looking at some accuracy drops from the Bryant in particular, 90% accuracy only, so that's allowing Ukraine to take the early lead.
Yeah, that early lead is going to help quite a bit. They can definitely try to start a snowballer, but we'll see if that is going to happen for them as we start to get back off again a little bit here. There's a bit of this person slider aim as well. And we see Evil Bono is actually the person to find the miss there, but it is going to be traded out by Blue Cricketall. So it is going to stay relatively balanced. It's going to keep moving over in favor of Ukraine with 120k still through this more thirsty section. First third of the map done and dusted, and Ukraine are the ones taking the lead through it.
Yes, indeed. So far, everything is going according to their plan, but can they keep holding it to the very end? That is the main question that we have right here. Chrono4G is gonna question that himself, finding that break halfway through the map. Not the best spot you want to see a player losing their combo, but this is what's happening inevitably. And right now it's Indonesia with a 3-way FC, smelling blood in the water. They see the light at the end of the tunnel to, here is the opportunity to get a 5th point on the board, a break point. That would be dream come true, especially after a break from 1 Max. Ukraine is given every single opportunity to Indonesia right now. Fama did trade that out, but there is a 2-way FC versus a 1-way and support, and that is not enough for Ukraine. Indonesia is just pouring that salt on the open wound, and the 5th point is gonna be another break point. Ukraine failed in getting that stable take on board to make it 4-4, and Indonesia, they were hungry for another break point for the revenge.
Yeah, they've definitely been showing that hunger. I mean, they finally got their lead and they tasted it and they went, nah, we keeping this now. And definitely dialed in. I mean, 4-0 misses for the side of Indonesia. Just overall terrifying performance. And of course, Noob Guy as well with a perfect score. Perfect FC. I mean, Jesus. They wanted that point on the board. They got that point on the board. They were not worrying about it either. Even with, you know, the lower accuracy coming in from Brighton, there was still a 929k score. So overall, Indonesia, they came in with the fire. They came with the heat, and they are definitely showing it off now. But, no, of course, it goes back to their pick. And they now finally pick one of the 1 slots themselves, right? Right?
Right. I would say Primo 2.
Oh, no, we picked number 2 at this point, yeah. Number 2, let's go.
Oh, Primo, oh no, I meant Primo 2, Primo 2.
No more 2. I've decided.
Noma 2 for wait, I mean, it would make sense. It would make sense from Indonesia as well. His tapping, some might consider it stamina. Ukraine, well, not going for tapping maps most of the time. They did win that DT2, but it's a whole different story with this DT2 compared to Noma 2. So I do see that. For the more stable win, though, I don't even know. At this point, there are no maps that we could 100% count for Indonesia or for Ukraine either. So it's just about the map that they feel the most confident, the most comfortable on. So I feel like you need to prioritize your own comfort, because so far Indonesia has been popping off. For example, that DT4, Ukraine did improve their score, but almost 500,000 improvement did not matter because Indonesia just got a 3.4, and that is type of performance that a top-seeded team would actually set on this DT4. So they're definitely in the right place and the right momentum here. And Noma 3. Okay.
Yeah, this is a solid pick to go into, right? The Noma 3. I mean, of course, mentions have to be given out. This is going to be, of course, a custom, and I believe done by Judge first. Yep. Noma 3, I mean, it is just, you know, what you'd expect from Noma 3. It's a bit ulty. You know, got a bit of snap ult here and there. He's got some flow ult here and there. Overall, does get a mix of everything, but this map does have quite a few challenging moments, a few, you know, very small spikes, I would argue. And of course, does all that for about 3 minutes 40, I think, so far. So the longest map we've played so far at these two teams in this matchup.
Should be. It should indeed be that. Yeah. Huge shout outs to Judge first for actually making the map come to life. And you already said it. Snap ult, flow, aim as well. Overall, Judge first has that free-form style of mapping when it comes to ult. So those are quite unconventional as well. The main point about this map, why people consider it one of the hardest ones in the pool, is because each KI, the div spike is always different. If it was the repetitive one, if it was the same hard pattern in all 3 KIs, that would have been so much easier for players to actually practice and set high scores on. But even some of the top seeded teams are having issues, having some struggles with this Noma 3 map. Solely because of that, because there are almost no repetitive patterns in this map.
Yeah, I mean, that repetitiveness definitely breathes a bit of fresh air to the map, but of course, you know, as you mentioned, right, it does add that challenge. Practice on this. You don't get to, you know, play the key eye over and over again and go, yeah, I know it now, I can just deal with it and play the rest normally. No. You gotta be locked in for all of this map. And of course, with it being Scrim at 37, the consistency requirement is definitely going to be there, mixed in with, I mean, also the map changing a lot does add a bit more difficulty towards the consistency. You just gotta pray you've played enough of the map or enough of a lot of maps like this to, you know, have the scores you want for a map like this. But overall, shouldn't be too big of a major problem for these teams, I'd say. But you know, now we're going to go into it. Possibly the last map of the match. Indonesia looking to close this one out as they are at match point. Ukraine looking to try and keep themselves afloat, keep themselves on the board, getting another breakpoint to the list of already major breakpoints in this matchup between the two teams. For Ukraine, it's going to be Krona, Roma, Yarama, and Evil Bona. For Indonesia, looking to try and close the match out, it's going to be that noob guy, Bokatador, Blank Tap, and Maccabi. See if they can close this one out on the Eat Meat.
Yeah, indeed, best of luck to both teams. A bit surprised Colibra is not playing this Noma 3, one of his stronger control players. Maybe the actual skill cap thingy has hit him, but we'll see if Ukraine will be able to perform better than Indonesia, even without Colibra. So far, it seems like it, but never mind. 2 breaks from that guy and Blank Tap are traded right away by Chrono 4G and Roma. Evil Bonner is also going to follow the trend despite holding one best accuracy in the lobby. Even before the first KI, showing the overall level of comfort from Ukraine not being on such a good level compared to Indonesia. Indonesia, however, is also finding a bunch of breaks before the first KI. It's just Maccabi and Roma, and both countries are starting to struggle. And here comes the first KI. Let's see how much they will be able to hold through.
Yeah, Indonesia all getting a complete team wipe there, which is not what you want to see for them. I mean, Ukraine right now definitely have set star performers right now, and it's going to be, of course, Roma and Yoroma. Yoroma does find the break, but Roma's just no problems whatsoever. I mean, yeah, okay, bro, we find a break at 720 combo, but, like,
Yeah, okay, man. Nice score so far, but you know that now that break has been found, that does leave Indonesia with a decent bit of an opening here. They do have a chance to start clawing it back, but they're going to start needing to be extremely comfortable when it comes to those key eyes.
Yeah, for sure. It's quite tragic that Roman found that break right before the end of the first PI. There would have been so much free combo, and Ukraine would have already had that safe zone entered. But now that Roman is not here with a full combo, Indonesia built up a lot of really good recoveries, and Corona 4G keeps finding those consistent breaks. Not gonna make Ukraine look so prominent in this map. Indonesia, they do lose Datnum guy and Maccabi, but Black Tap and Bokidor, it's just up to them to try and finish off Ukraine to make it stop right here, right now. The last third of the map is here, and here comes another wiggly section that Snap-on is gonna hit like a truck, but so far everyone is hitting those like it's nothing for them. Blank Tap Power, it's gonna be one of the big combos to lose the combo. Evil Bonder and the Roma are trading that. It's just up to Roman once again.
Yeah, but this time around, I mean, Roma definitely isn't getting the free brain he had in there at the start. Bokador is playing here, and he's starting to climb to that 800 combo. Does get through here, but it's only a 5k difference, and they've all seen the scores. They've seen in this last quarter and how close it really is. Roma looking to try and keep that combo afloat, looking to try and keep Ukraine in the game. But Bokador looking to close this one out. Noob guy as well with the recovery. They are trying to make sure they stay in the lead, trying to make sure this game closes when it does, and Roma finds the break. And it's the side of Indonesia right now just looking super comfortable. Even the major spacing, it doesn't claim them whatsoever. Eva Bona finds the break, but all of Indonesia seem a bit locked in on this ending. Maccabi is finding the miss, but the other three are just so dialed in. Blank Tap now finds the miss, but Bokador just doesn't care. Look at that combo being brought in, the accuracy as well. Just so unbelievably clean.
Oh, just tearing this map apart at the end. The ending section, it should be one of the hardest in this map, but Bokador nearly assessed this one. And, well, it definitely seems like he had other plans to what Ukraine had, no matter how much Roman tried and actually performed. Got 700 combo twice in this map. It wasn't nearly enough. The end is going to be Indonesia winning against Ukraine, and as far as I am concerned, they will be playing against Philippines in the semifinals. So another very interesting matchup, but it's the end of the road for Ukraine right here. As a seed 16 team, they made an upset against Thailand, the seed 11, and definitely put up a very strong fight against Indonesia, who were seed 10. So they can be very much proud of themselves, but unfortunately, everything has an end, and they're becoming part of the story while Indonesia will move forward.
Yeah, I mean, it was just such a strong performance from both sides. I mean, Ukraine did some incredible things there, but Indonesia came towards the end of the match. They warmed up, they dialed in, and they just closed it out the way they wanted to. And again, yeah, overall, just an incredible performance from them.
Yeah, for sure, but that is about it. We still do have another match going on between, I believe it is Germany versus Singapore on the main channel, so we're gonna be rating that one in just a bit. But for now, Torva, I believe we already said everything we needed to, so thank you everybody for watching. My name has been Philoxen, and I was joined by the lovely Torva Zero. Always a pleasure casting with you. And that, yeah, for sure, that was your 4WC staff team signing off. Bye bye everyone, and we will send you right away for the main channel. Bye bye.